Perry, you turned your mic off.
Why? I'm clearing the screen. Good night.
What are you going to do now is just what I wanted to know.
I just said why I am going to clear the screen.
What, because I want to know. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch some movie or something. I don't know.
Are you going to watch them? What
But
kind
it's
of
this
movie?
hour, so this is the late night movie I watch.
What's the name of it?
I don't know. Jesus, fucking let me go to sleep.
All right. Good night, Perry.
Will I throw these fucking mousetraps away?
No, keep them. They might come in handy. Keep them.
Good night.
Good night. Ah, it's too bad he shut down. I thought we might get him back one more time, but that's okay. I think he earned his porno hub time. Yeah, I think he was just done accepting offers at that point. That's why he didn't take the 50. But it was fine. He was pretty agreeable tonight, I will say. He was pretty agreeable. But I can't stay on. I gotta say I should probably just call it a night as well, because it's like 20 to 5 in the morning here, which would be the normal time we would get off a after hour stream. But I did say earlier, when we finally got on after all those problems, that we'd be in for a long one. So do me a favor. I'm not gonna edit this, because at first I was worried that he was flashing that thing. I really don't want to have to edit it. Whatever he said, just do me a favor. Just don't try to. I mean, you guys will be able to see it on Patreon, but don't post it somewhere else. Just don't do anything like take a screen grab and post it in the Facebook group or something like that. Otherwise, the thought of me having to go in there right now and edit that is just mind-boggling. So let's just be on the honor system for credenza level. I could read it a little bit. If you really zoomed in on it, you could probably see some of it, but whatever. I'm just not going to get too caught up with it. I'll definitely cut it for YouTube. I don't know for YouTube, I'll probably just cut the whole end. But yeah. I'll see. I'm going to review it. What I'll do is, when this ends, I'm going to review it. If it looks too clear, I'll quickly blur it, render it, go to bed, and then upload it in the morning. If I look at it and it was super blurry and you can't really see it, I'll just upload it as is. How's that? I just don't want, because he did sign an NDA. So, he's so stupid. Well, why would you flash that? So I'll be the judge of it, if it's fine or not. I'll take a look at it. I wrote down the time code. Oh, did you go back? Okay, that's fine. If it's illegible, that's fine. Yeah. So the show name is Smiling Friends. The show starts this summer, so his episode should come out, I'm thinking, like, maybe in August or September. Okay. Yeah. If it's illegible, that's good. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Believe me, I don't think they really give a shit. To be honest with you, I just don't want to make a big thing of it. But he's been good. The reason why he has it printed is he's been studying it all week, which is good. It's nice that he's taking it seriously. Okay, so everybody's checking it out, saying you can't see it. That's cool. He doesn't have a cartoon character. I've said this before. He's live action. That's why. I mean, I wouldn't be flying out there if he was just doing some voiceover gig. He's live. The show is animated. His part is live action. That's why they're filming him. They rented a studio. There's a whole production. So. And he's got a few different parts. He's got to do some. He actually has a stunt. without giving anything away, he technically has a stunt in it that he has to film. So it's going to be an all-day thing. So it should be interesting, and it's very good. It's very well written. I will say the script's very Adult Swim. It's very funny, and I saw a rough animation of what the concept of what the episode is supposed to look like, and it's good. You guys will like it, and it might blow him up a little bit, really, because Adult Swim said they'll push him out when it airs, like they'll so that we might have some good retweets from Adult Swim, possibly. I don't know. Not officially in the contract, but they agreed to push out his this channel. And I'm sure he'll push it pretty hard. So everybody tune in for the episode when it airs, because I want to give them. I don't know if I want to give them as much attention as possible. It'll be great when it comes out, when Adult Swim tweets about the show or anything. Just if you guys can retweet it or comment on it that you're excited for Perry's episode, that'd be good, because there is talk about making him a reoccurring character, if it will, if things go right. He does a good job and the episode's popular. There's a possibility that the character could come back, which would be great. It's a very funny character. I think it's very on brand. But yeah, so I think we'll talk more about that when the time comes. But yeah, like just getting the word out, not getting the word out, but just engaging in their social media would be great. So yeah, it's just cool. It's nice. This is it's a legitimate part. It's not some stupid extra thing or him being jerked. And he's had plenty of that. He's had plenty of like things where he's been jerked around or whatever. This is a real gig. This is it's nice. It's a real credit. Finally, that IMDb will be updated for 2021 standards. But I don't think he's gonna be terrible. I think he's gonna be good. He's gonna do good. I don't. He's got a knack for it. And it's, again, keep in mind, it's written for him. Yeah. So, with all the talk of like me getting him, gigs, like now, again, it's all this stuff is like really, it's really coming together now. And I think if this goes well, he can get something else. He's on a lot of people's radar now. So I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of this gig, and that's why, I have a little fun with it on the streams where like, Adult Swim is, they're not gonna like this or whatever, but it's very rewarding that this came to be, and it came out of the streams. It didn't come from anything else. It came out of the streams, which is even more rewarding. But yeah, I think if this goes well, he'll get. There's already talk of, without saying too much, there's already talk of him getting a couple other things too. He's just got to hold it together. He's got to, he'll, when he's not in that crazy mode, he is legitimately appreciative of everything that's happened, and he's very excited about it, and he's, for all the times he curses the stream, he does love it. He legitimately, I think I'll still get that Del Taco special regardless of how well he's doing. Yeah, well, thank you. I'm proud of you guys too. This is a team effort, by the way. This he wouldn't have gotten this gig if this channel wasn't successful. So you guys are a part of that, as much as I am. So I feel like it's definitely a team effort, and I want to just get through the end of the year and end really strong, and how we'll see how it goes. But I'm yeah, it's a big. Again, I come back to what things were like a year ago, and look at what things are like now, and it's got to take a moment. It's heavy. Do I think he watches the stream after he gets off? No, I don't think he. I don't think he's tuning into this and listening us talk about Casino and what the best mob movie is, or whatever we happen to be talking about at any given moment. But yeah, it's been a big year. It's been a weird year for a lot of people. It's you look at most of 2020 and 2021 so far. It's been weird, and sometimes I wonder like what would have happened if this started sooner. If maybe the Perry Caravello Live went up like late March of 2020, right when the pandemic hit. Would it have been as big? Would it have been bigger, or maybe it just came along at the right time? You know. Yeah, we'll do a gaming special. Yeah, I sleep. Believe me, I'll sleep. I'll sleep late tomorrow for sure. But my sister's in town, so and I told her that tomorrow is my free day where I'll have. So I do got to get up at some point. Does 2020 TomB think that 2021 Perry needs more eggs? Yes. Kill the Irishman. I've heard of that movie. Recommended. I've never seen it, but I'd like to. 2020 vision was a warning. Yeah, that's true. I never. Somebody. Tim says that Perry is better than Tiger King. I never got into that. I thought the whole Tiger King thing was so cringe. I never got into it. Never watched it. But then again, I don't watch Netflix at all. I pay for. Like I said, I pay for it stupidly, but I never watch it. Perry watches it more than I do. Now that he has it. Well, not the fact that it was overrated, Tiger King. It's the fact that every Tom, Dick, and Harry was like talking about it and doing like Tiger King references, and I just once the masses get once like you can go by social media, like I don't really use Facebook at all except for our group and maybe one or two other things, but I'd see like accidentally on my timeline like we all have these cheesy people that are in our circles, maybe ex coworkers or ex friends or people you went to school with, and you just know that they're completely bereft of any creativity and they're just complete bores. And when those people are raving about something like Tiger King or talking about how much they love it, I'm like, oh, I'm out. This is not for me. If this person's liking it, I am I'm done. I'm not even going to attempt it. So that's why it wasn't. Yeah, Idiocracy is a great movie. Absolutely. Is it better than Office Space though? Is that the better Mike Judge movie? But yeah, social media is like a good barometer for like whatever the dopiest people you have on your timeline is. It could be for whatever reason you just look down on them for the things they like. Once they like boast about something, it's hard when they boast about something that I also like. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to share laughs with this idiot, or I don't want to share my passions with this dope. But you know. I just like everybody was talking about this time last year. Maybe not this time last year. It was more like March, April. Everybody was talking about it. And I just didn't care at all. Yeah, there's birds. The birds chirping because I have the windows open now because it's so. It's just it was so hot. It was so hot in here all stream. I was dying. So yeah, the birds are chirping. It's probably a good sign. And the sun's coming. It's not coming up, but you could see it. It's the sky is getting lighter. Yeah, I agree with that. Office Space has more rewatchability. Yeah, I love that term too, rewatchability. It's such a there's so many things that fall into that category. But yeah, Idiocracy is more of a documentary. Idiocracy, you got to be in the right mood for. Office Space, you could just pretty much watch anytime. We can turn it on right now and I'll enjoy it. And I always feel a badge of honor if a movie like that, I can claim that I saw it in a theater, and I saw Office Space opening night when it came out. I felt like I was in on it early before it became the. I won't even say it's a cult favorite. I think it's legitimate, like a mainstream favorite by now. Yeah, it's still great, right? Like anytime I ever see it at any point, it still works. It's not really dated. I mean, there's like maybe some of the technology's dated, but it still works. Like all the jokes work, the deliveries work, the casting is so great in that movie. Like, there's just so many things. You know, it took me a long time to realize that Mike Judge plays Jennifer Aniston's boss in what was it, Tchotchkes, the restaurant where he tells her about needing to wear more flair. I had no idea that was Mike Judge until years later, and I forget where I saw it. Like maybe on the internet, or it's like I read an article or something, or saw a YouTube video, and it was like, yeah, that Mike Judge rarely plays parts, and I was like, oh my god. Uh, I had to immediately watch it again and see it. I didn't catch it at first glance because he completely disappears into it, and he's so good. You wonder why Mike Judge doesn't perform more because he's so good. Yeah, Mike Judge is a great guy. I've had the pleasure I can technically say I had the pleasure of working with him and meeting him, and he was amazing, just amazing. I'll have to tell that story one day. But wow, great guy. So such. I've never watched the what Silicon Valley. I've never seen it. Just never grabbed me for whatever reason. But I've never seen it. I've never seen a frame of it. So even saying it didn't grab me is wrong because it's like it just didn't get me to sit down and watch it. Yeah, I know the voice work he does. Yes, but Judge Mike saved Perry's career is true. It is crazy because technically, if you're a Big Three fan, Mike Judge was in the Big Three quote unquote pilot, and he played the judge of the system. And without talking too much out of school, the system was something that I basically came up with, and it was a little surreal to me to have Mike Judge sitting and playing a judge of something that I basically came up with. It was kind of an out of body experience for me, and he was super cool. And God, I mean, I'll tell more about that one day. But it was the conditions weren't great, to put it mildly, of the production, and he was he didn't complain at all. It's like one of the hottest days of the year. And he was like all in his judge robes and stuff, and he God, he was so good. He was so good. So I've always I just always admired him, you know, even like from Beavis and Butthead, but more so for his other stuff. Definitely for Office Space. I think people like didn't know what kind of movie that was going to be because it was like, oh, the guy from Beavis and Butthead is making a movie, but man, that movie's so good. Whenever I talk about it, I want to I want to watch it. Why wasn't the pilot released? You know, I can't say right here, but it's stupid. Ineptitude is the real reason. I'll leave it at that. Is there a new Beavis and Butthead movie coming out? Really? I didn't know that. I saw the first Beavis and Butthead movie in the theater as well. I had no idea that they were doing a new one. No, nothing to do with Perry. Perry didn't sue anybody. Oh man. Wait, is it like is the Beavis and Butthead movie live action? No, it's animated, right? This is our lowest rated after hours stream, by the way. I think because YouTube crashed. Oh, it is animated. By the way, like me saying like it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did a live action freaking Beavis and Butthead movie. Yeah, I agree with you. It would be awful. I wasn't saying that like I was excited about it. I was saying it like I was shocked by it. Was what was coming? I didn't. I've said this before. I didn't see Coming to America 2 or Coming to America, and I don't plan on seeing it. Was it a woke thing? It just looked bad to me. But was it woke too? I mean, what isn't what sequel now isn't woke? I mean, if Borat goes woke, you know you're in for trouble. Yeah, Kevin Hart is Beavis and Will Smith is Butthead. Can you imagine? I can imagine that actually. Does DSP actually have after hour shows, Matt? Is that a thing he does? But how many people actually know like are familiar with Dark Side Phil outside of Perry? Because I never heard of him before Perry, like before he the rivalry on Twitch. Oh really? Was it? Oh fuck. Coming to America too. His daughter is the hero. Ugh. Is she the bestest ever? Kevin Hart is overrated. Kevin Hart's not. Is he even rated? I mean, are there any Kevin Hart fans? Mm. Yeah, fuck that. I'm not gonna watch Coming to America too. I've said this before. I really have a thing for bad comedy sequels. Like I will watch Weekend at Bernie's 2. Even though I say that Weekend at Bernie's 2 is not necessarily a bad comedy sequel. They actually, for what it is, they did it as good of a job with it as possible. My dream was always, not my dream, but one of them is if I ever became like a multi millionaire, like, and I can just produce things, I would want to produce Weekend at Bernie's 3 like now, and spend a ton of money on it, like just like Howard Hughes it, like really like throw everything at it, like make it, I want to get those two guys, Jonathan Silverman and what's the other guy's name, back. What's the other guy's, Jonathan Silverman, and what's the other, McCarthy, Andrew McCarthy, back, and then Terry Kaiser as Bernie, but then you'd have to spend an excessive amount of money de-aging him to where he looks like in circa 1989. And I already have a loose version of the story in my head. I had a writing class. Speaking of like college, I had a writing class where we had to basically we had to write a sequel to an already existing movie. And I wrote the sequel to my thing was I wrote a sequel to I did Weekend at Bernie's 3. I wrote a treatment for it, and I got an A. It was good. I forget all the beats of it. I have it somewhere on a hard drive, and it was like it was the plot of it was that Bernie had, before he was killed, he swallowed something really valuable, like a was it like maybe like a jewel or something, like a diamond or something. So it was in his body, and then people had to, these people found out about it, and they were trying to get his body. Now, obviously, his body was cryogenically frozen. You had to say, something like that. He was put on. He was kept on ice somehow, and I gotta go look through my notes because I really worked out the beats of how we would do it. And this was a good while ago, so I don't know how you do it now, all these years later, but I had when you didn't have to write the full like dialogue or anything, but you got to write a treatment to it. So I thought was a pretty good treatment at the time. It might be total cringe now, but they did the voodoo in the second one. I forgot how he was reanimated, and and also as cheesy as this is, I had to write it in. So Bernie has a twin brother that we never knew about, and the twin brother is in it. Right, the twin brother, and that's obviously Terry Kaiser as well, who would also have to be CGI'd and de-aged. So, again, we're talking about a big budget here. We're talking about hundreds of millions for this shitty comedy sequel. That I just want to throw I just want to make enough money, like win the lottery or something like that, and just throw all my money. Like forget Star Wars, forget redoing that. I just want to make Weekend at Bernie's 3 and spend and just have articles written about it of how this lunatic is spending all of his fortune on this movie. And because you have to pay good money to get Andrew McCarthy and Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman to do it, because they'd probably be hesitant. So I'll throw some money at them. Terry Geiser might be easier, but then it's all special effects. I want a good director, and some kind of I want throwbacks to the first movie. Weekend at Perry's. Perry kills both cats, and one of them has to spend Linda's last weekend pretending that the cat's still alive. I like that. We can do an animation for that. But I forget what else. There was some. There was some kind of Frankenstein-y thing. And then I thought too, to go really crazy. I didn't do this. You can go really crazy with Bernie and just make him like Jason, like have him come back to life, but he's like a killer. He's like Bernie turns into a serial killer. And then it can be, because I do like movies that shift genres, like what was that movie that Tarantino starred in with George Clooney and Harvey Keitel? I forget the name of it, but it's one of those movies where it's not a great movie, but it's great for the fact that it completely switches genres about a third of the way through the movie. The one with the vampires, I can't think of the name of it. It's late. Somebody in the chat will help me out with it. Dusk Till Dawn, yeah. And Dusk Till Dawn's one of those movies where I worked at a video store when that came out on video. I was a video store man. It was my job, and like when that movie came out, I really I put this thing on the back of the box, because the box gave it away. The video box gave the movie away on the back, and I inserted these white things, and I just said, I wrote like in like Sharpie, I said, if you really want to enjoy this movie, don't read anything about it. Now, this is before the internet. Really, the internet was around, but it wasn't as around as it is now, obviously. And I had so many people come in and return the tape, and they thanked me to say like, oh, thank you so much for not spoiling this for me. Thank you for telling me not to read about it. And not that it's a great movie. It's not. It's just it's. But you got to give it credit for, like, it starts out as this like crime, like, I don't know, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, but like fugitives on the run, and then turns into a friggin' fucking zombie vampire movie, which is pretty cool. So getting back to Weekend at Bernie's 3, I thought that could be cool if like fucking Bernie turned into like a like a zombie killer or something. But I think the whole point of Weekend at Bernie's is you don't necessarily reanimate him. You make things look like, it's like those two guys, they'd have to like defrost him and pretend like he's still alive, like in the first movie where they're like walking him. I mean, that's my favorite stuff of the first movie is when they're trying to pretend that he's alive, and like puppeteering him and stuff. It's a stupid movie. It's a total guilty pleasure. But anyway, that was my thing for Weekend at Bernie's 3. And the sequel's not bad. It's the sequel came out a long time after. I think the sequel came out in '93. So it's a good 4 years after the first movie. They were pushing it then. I don't think the sequel did that good, from what I remember. I saw somebody talking about the Leprechaun movies. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Never really got into it. And plus, I really hate when horror movies have no continuity. And isn't there a thing with like where the sequels don't have anything to do with the previous movies, or at one point it just like Leprechauns in space, Leprechaun in the Hood, or whatever, but like they don't really reference previous films. I know what you mean about hating the term guilty pleasure, but what else would you call it? It's a movie that gives you pleasure that you, in a way, feel guilty about because it's bad or looked down upon, but you like it. So if there's a better term for that, I'll use it. But I agree with you. I hate using terminologies that are used by everybody else. Like when people say "it is what it is," I hate that. I never saw Wet Hot American Summer. I don't think. I don't think I saw it. Maybe I'm wrong. But doesn't ring a bell. Right, Troll and Troll 2, two completely different movies. And I don't dig on Troll 2 either. Like it's a cult to me that's just a really bad movie. What is going on? I don't know. I think what's going on is we're about to wrap. I would do a Dazed and Confused sequel. You'd totally ruin that movie by doing a sequel. But is it The State, people? I like The State. Yeah, it's funny. I knew this girl. Like talking about "it is what it is." Somebody said he broke up with a girl that said "it is what it is," and I adamantly hate that term. Even though I'm guilty of saying it in some occasions, I think we all are, as much as we all hate it. And so I go to this girl's apartment, and she had it like on her wall and like spelt out in like block letters in quotes, and it was like the cheesiest thing. And it was like "it is what it is," and I was like, what am I doing here? Why do I know this person? I gotta get this person out of my life. I can't. I just couldn't. And I called her out on it. I was like, what? And she was proud of it. She's like, yeah, I say it all the time, and my mom got it for me for Christmas. It is, because sometimes it is what it is. And I just looked at her like, I just don't want to know you. I just don't want to know you. God damn, that's so bad. It's so bad. And I think I politely exited myself out of her life. Yeah, any quote written on a wall is cringe. Can you imagine putting out of all the things you can decorate your home with? Why would you put that on your wall? Why would you put anything on your wall? That's a phrase or a saying, unless it's a paraphrase that I could see doing. She was just really, I don't know if she would cheat. She was just really cheesy and tacky. It's just, yeah, live, laugh, but that whole, live, laugh, love. I'm getting sick just talking about those things. What horrible people there are in this world. Insufferable. Yeah, you got a sign that says it happened a long time ago. Somebody said, I have a kink for bless this mess. Can you imagine? Did you fucking imagine? Oh my god. It's like I feel like when I was a kid, I'd walk into other kids' homes and their parents would have shit like that written. I still remember this. Like I had a good friend, and I judged his mom and dad for having this in the bathroom because I thought it was so tacky and so trash. And it was my parents would never do this. Anyway, they had this. It was a nice bathroom, and and it was one of those things where like the toilet seat was a cushioned seat, which was a thing in the '80s, and they had a sign right above the toilet. And it was like this kid peeing and missing the seat, and it was a saying that said, "If you tinkle when you sprinkle, be neat and wipe the seat." And I just thought that was so ungodly tacky. and it was my first instance of one of those, and I really looked down. I looked down on them, whenever I had to use that bathroom, for whatever reason, I always just like looked at it with scornful, this scornful gaze. Why would I hate your apartment, Tim? Do you have that stuff in there? I mean, I've had apartments where it's been decorated like a prisoner that's out on parole. Like the walls are bare because I never planned on staying there that long. So I'm like, why the hell am I going to bother decorating this? So like like some of them, I was always neat, but there's times where I just like had nothing. Like the place I live in now, this office I'm in now, you can't see it obviously, but I have nothing up. I have nothing up because I knew this was not going to be. I was not going to be here for longer than a certain amount of time. I'll do the cam. I'll get that set up for when I move. After I move, I'm moving at the end of June, early July. After that, when I set up the new play, because I have to have a studio anyway for voiceover work. So I'm just I'm kind of dealing with that now. So I'll do that when you won't have to look at the car. Then again, I won't be able to dress as comfortably. Oh, you decorated with the signed Windy City Heat poster. Good. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah, I have a lot of I have like posters. I have a couple of really cool posters that I want to get professionally framed that I've always held on to. Festival, you'd be surprised. I'm wearing like what I wore today because I was running very late. So I'm wearing like jeans. I'm wearing a button-down short-sleeve shirt, and I'm fully dressed because I had a lot of errands to run. I had to pick up my sister from the airport and like come back here and start doing this. Drop her at my parents and then come here, and I just made. And again, I thought I was so early. I was like, wow, we're gonna go on early. We're gonna go right on time. I started running the pre-show, and then I got all those errors, and I was like, fuck me. I just couldn't catch a break. My go-to soup depends on my mood. I'm not the big. By the way, I'm not into soup. Once the warm weather hits, soup is a no-go for me. And I don't like it if I'm out with somebody and they order soup and it's summertime. In fact, I demand that they don't do it. I have a friend that's big on soup, and we went out for Indian once in the summer, and he ordered some Indian soup, and I had him cancel it. I said, I'm not going to watch you eat soup. It's like 100 degrees outside and it's humid, and you're going to eat this hot bowl of soup? It's disgusting. But I like a really good French onion soup if it's well done, meaning like the cheese is good, and it's hard to find it really good because sometimes the French onion soup looks like dishwater. But if the soup is really dark and it's really flavorful and it's done right, I love it. I'm also a sucker for lobster bisque if it's plentiful full of lobster. Any kind of seafood bisque, even if it's crab or whatever, I'm into that. Not really into chicken broth soup, but I will have that. I will have chicken noodle soup every now and again, like once every 3 years, if I'm sick. And maybe there's some other soups I'm not thinking. Oh, I like corn tortilla soup if that's done right. But again, no soup. We're out of soup season now. Once you get out of April, no soup, no soup until September. When you get that first cool breeze after Labor Day, then you can start eating soup again. I have no soup policy in the summer, unless you're somewhere where it's cold. Australia, you're good. Right now, you can have soup. Yeah, potato soup is okay. Cream of broccoli is good every now and again. I don't like Italian wedding soup. I think that's disgusting. No, I'll eat ice cream during the winter. I don't count that. Which I don't think it's the same thing. I'll eat ice cream. I have weird rules. I think I might have told this before, but I remember. I know I'm very particular and I'm opinionated and I got a lot of weird rules, and it's very hard to deal with me if you're like dating me, or God forbid, married to me. And I remember going on a date like a long time ago, and I wasn't into this. I knew it was going to be a one and done, and I told her straight out. I was like, I don't do dinner on a first date. Dinner's too intimate. We'll do drinks, and if you don't drink, we're not dating at all. But there's so she was already perturbed by that, and we were talking, and I was just, I don't know, she was asking me, she hit all the wrong notes for me, and I was just giving her all my things, like things that I don't do. I was like, oh no, I don't do that. No. Oh, you can't do that. Like, oh no, you can't order. Like, the other thing I don't like too is when you're at a diner and somebody's ordering breakfast and you order dinner food. Like, no, we both have to be on the same wavelength. You can't order an omelet and I'm ordering a burger. You either both have to order lunch/dinner food, or we both order breakfast. And I don't think, anyway, I've come off that a little bit. But I was giving her a whole litany, and she just like gave me this blank stare, and she was like, you got a lot of rules. And I was like, yeah, that's right, sweetheart. I do. And there was no second date. But she was just, I forget, I used to have a better memory of that date because I would tell people about it. I don't remember it now. But I was just, everything she was saying, I was like, oh no, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. No, you don't do that. Yeah, I think sex on the first date's totally fine, by the way. I don't look down on that at all. Yeah, no doubt. I think dinner is intimate. I think not so much as like a cheap thing. Like, but in a way, like if you're dating a lot of people, which I think people do now, it's, do you really want to go and spend, however it is on a dinner and it doesn't go well? And plus, you have no outs with food. You have to sit there through the whole meal because you got to wait for the check and everything. With drinks, you can have one drink, and if it's not going well, you have an exit plan. You can have one more drink if it's tolerable, but you're locked in with dinner. And I think I think it's too much. Unless it's a circumstance where you really like the person and you've built up a lot of communication before the date, and then you want to do dinner, fine. But for me personally, that was always a no. No, absolutely no dinner, and also no non-drinkers. So what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to do with those people? And no, I have no problem with people that don't drink. That's your choice. But what do you do on a date with somebody who doesn't drink? I mean, what do? You go to a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee. You go to a coffee shop. And by the way, no movies on the first date either. I've known a lot of people that like, what was your first date? Oh, we went to see a movie. Why in the fuck would you go see a movie on the first date? You're gonna go into a dark room, like you must be the worst communicator if you go take a woman or a man or whatever to a movie on a first date. You're just gonna sit there and watch a movie for 2 hours or whatever, and then what are you gonna do? Talk about the movie after that, and be like, good God. Can't imagine. I have so many people that are like, oh, what'd you do? What'd you take her? Oh, we went to go see this movie. Like, what kind of a bore are you that you would take somebody to a movie? Now, obviously, not too many people go to movies now, but Netflix and chill, I guess, is the thing to do now. Even though, as I said, I don't watch Netflix. But I think the thing is now, and again, I feel sorry for people that in the dating landscape or whatever. It's like you have so much competition with other people, and and conversation. If you are talking to somebody, you get so accelerated because you're texting or whatever. That never used to be the case, and now by the time you meet them for the first date, it might as well be your fifth or sixth because you've had so many things communicated. Whether it's they might know everything about you. They might know all your best stories by the time the first date even comes. So I think it's just completely different now. So my thinking might be off. I used to write a blog years and years ago about, it was kind of like a Sex in the City for men. It was like dating advice and like experience stories, and I had it for a while. And I actually I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something I don't tell too many people. So it was the blog was pretty popular. And I'd maintain it. I'd make it entertaining. I'd tell bad date stories. I'd give no-nos. I'd give my rules and stuff like that. I have it all saved somewhere. Anyway, so I got an offer. I got a book deal out of it. where like, hey, and at the time, publishers were really going over blog because blogging was a thing. I don't know if it still is, but it, publishers were scouring the internet for popular blogs or blogs that were well written or whatever. So I got off like, oh, would you want to turn this into a book? Like write a book about the man, because that was a rare a niche. Like it was like a man's perspective, because every blog there was so many like women writing blogs about dating life and this and that, and these guys are terrible, and what to look out for, and what this guy did bad or what this guy did wrong. So I just did that, but from a man's perspective. You wouldn't fly today, but I thought it was pretty good, and I enjoyed doing it. And I almost went on dates just looking. It came a point where when I knew it was running its course, is I was going on dates looking for bad experiences so I can write about them, so I can have new material. I was basically accepting, like, I'd go out with a girl who I clearly didn't like or whatever, but I was like, I can get some material out of this. And I'm like, all right, I'll go. I'll go meet her at this place and see where it goes. But anyway, so I got this deal, and they were like, here's the parameters. It was casual talking. There's no contracts or anything like that. And then a little while later, they changed the offer, where it was like, okay, well now we want to make it a he said, she said book, and we're going to pair you with this other person. And I kind of knew she was, because she was a very popular blogger in New York. She was like she did like a single girl's perspective of dating, whatever. It's like, yeah, so half the book will be by you, and the other half will be by her, and it'll be like, he said, she said, and it'll be a great dynamic. And I was so annoyed by that. I was like, and I look back and I was so arrogant, but I was just like, not for nothing, but this offer was for me. Like this was my deal. Now you're changing it. Now you're throwing some girl into the mix. And like, I'm not sharing my pros with her, And I turned it down. I said no, and I said no, thinking they'd be like, oh, "Okay, we changed our mind. No, we'll do your book." No, and you know what happened? That fucking chick got her own book, and I didn't. I got shit. So, I eventually did other things, but I look back at that, and man, how stupid I was to turn that down. I should have taken it because. And I didn't have this wherewithal at the time, because when you're younger, you make impulsive mistakes, and you don't think it through. You don't think of the good that can come out of it. And really, what should have happened with that is, okay, not what I wanted, but I suck it up and I do that book with this other fucking girl. And by the way, there was going to be no collaboration between the two of us necessarily. It was just going to be her end and my end, from what I understood at the time. And I was just so arrogant, thinking like, I didn't have an agent or anything like that. It was very early talks. And, but if I would have done it, I think it would have been good, and then like I could have gotten something out of that. Then, okay, now I can do something out of this he said, she said, and I could have stepped off from there. But I think when you're younger like that, you just want to get to that next level, whatever you're doing. If you're in the creative field or whatever you're doing, you want to get to where you think you should be immediately. And anything that comes along that hinders that is like, no, it's not necessarily an ego thing. 'Cause I really try hard not to have an ego about anything I do. In fact, I usually get down on myself professionally, especially with writing and stuff. I always, that's one area I don't have confidence in. Is like I'm good personally in my personal life. I think I have a certain degree of confidence. I'm confident with certain things, but that's one area where I didn't. And but that one thing gave me this like arrogant flair where I was just like, I think about that now, and I think, God, that was such a stupid mistake to turn that down. I definitely shouldn't. But then again, who knows what would have happened if I did? Maybe I would have never linked up with Perry. Maybe maybe Perry Caravello Live would have never existed or whatever. So you can't think like that. You got to think of all the roads to where you are now. Yeah, I'll write a book called "It Is What It Is" by Tom Brennan. Life Advice by Tom Brennan. It is what it is. But you gotta like. I don't know what you guys do for a living, but I always, if I 'cause I've written stuff and I would always go through phases with it. I always think like when I originally came up with the idea for what I was writing, it was great. It was the best thing ever. Then you put it on paper or on the screen and you're typing away and that's the work period, and you're just trying to get all the thoughts out. It's like sometimes my brain would work like a funnel where I'd have all these ideas, but I had to get them out really fast, otherwise I'd lose them. And then you put it together, and then I'd go through these phases where, oh, this is great, and then I'd read it, proofread it, like, this is fucking horrible. I can't submit this. This is garbage. There's so many other better people doing this. Why am I doing this? This is horrible. And then another phase will happen where you submit it, and then you read it published or whatever, like, oh no, this is really good. And then like a week goes by and I'll read it and I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I put this out there. Oh my God, it's horrible. So I'd always go through all these, it just got torturous. So, but in that moment where I said no, I thought that my blog was the best blog. Your painting contractor. Does that work the same way? Like with like your skill set, because it's funny. I came really close to joining the electricians union. I had a good in with it, and I was there. But I had another good friend that became a real master carpenter. Was just great at, but he is the same way. He hates his work sometimes. Where and I'm like, what are you kidding me? You built this. This is beautiful. You literally built this home. It's beautiful. And then they're just like, you released your first album and you can't decide if you like it or not. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. And I think creative people have that doubt that drags you down. It's like I've had that with like doing voiceover stuff. Like I've like listening back to my own voice is sometimes torturous. I think that's true for a lot of people. Even on these sometimes, like when I have to go into the edit and post, I'm like, ugh, what am I doing? Like what, it's just weird. But I think it's just human nature. That's right. Yeah, you remodel. Yes, we were talking about remodeling. You remodel apartment complexes. You would have your work cut out for you. I think that's true, Dank. I think work sucks in general. Even if you love what you do, it's still work. Yeah, I think that. I think you can. But if you can find something that you like, whatever it is, blue collar work. It's like my dad was a New York City firefighter. My dad's dad was a New York City firefighter. My dad's dad was an immigrant from Ireland, and worked for the FDNY. He was on the fire boats. And he was a master blacksmith in Ireland. Was really good with his hands, knew how to fix things. I picked that up a little bit. Like my dad's dad was the kind of guy, like when TVs first came out, like my dad would tell me, like that when they first got their TV, he took it apart, took every piece apart just to figure out how it worked and then put it back together. And he was really big in the fire department because he knew how to fix everything. If like something was going on a boat, he'd fix it. So I came from that lineage, and I guess it was expected for me to go become a firefighter. And I had a lot of friends growing up because my dad had a lot of friends who had kids who were their fathers were firefighters, and they were going in, and or that they wanted to, and I just never could pull that trigger. Yeah, well, there's a lot of that going around, Joey. That the worst thing is when you put hundreds of hours to work in something and you're so proud of it, and some company turns it down because there's not enough diversity. That's a serious thing. That's going on in every segment of entertainment right now. It's a real thing. There's TV writers getting fired because they're not diverse enough. Oh, hang on a second. All right, you guys, I'll treat you to something. Well, I won't treat you to something, but I'll let you in on something. What are you doing out of bed? Come here. Come here. All right.
Lord was trying to close.
What?
You see it?
All right, Teddy. I got to put this guy to bed. This is Teddy. Can you say hi? What were you doing? Teddy, when Teddy looks at this screen, sometimes he says, "Is that Perry?" Because he sees this screen and he knows. Anyway, Teddy's 3 and he just got out of bed, so I got to put him back. Were you dreaming? What were you doing?
I want my tablet.
You want your tablet? It's a little early for the tablet.
It's not.
It is.
I want my tablet.
I'll get you a tablet. Anyway, surprise guest on After Hours. Oh, you just dropped that. I'll get that for you. We were just talking about frustrations in our professional lives. But it's a small group of people here, so we'll keep a. Perry sometimes mentions him. You know what? I think Perry was about to drop your.
I want my tablet.
I'm gonna get your tablet. Perry was about to drop your name tonight a couple of times, and I told him not to. All right, I'm gonna sign up. Can you say goodnight? Can you say goodnight? Can you say goodnight? Can you say goodnight? All right.
I want my tablet.
You see, I think you should go back to bed. I don't think you should get your tablet. But and I got to get to bed too. What are you doing? Don't touch that.
I want my tablet.
What are you gonna watch on your tablet?
I'm not Slippy.
Blippy? Does anybody out there know Blippy? I cannot stand this.
Yes, Slippy.
Hey, here's an offer, Teddy. Offer time. Amy's offering $11 to do 25 jumping jacks. Are you farting? Is that a fart?
Yeah. Oh, see my tablet.
Yeah, this is the next star of Brennan Entertainment. Once he starts streaming, it's going to be game over, guys. You know. Oh, I think you need. Oh no, you're good. You're good. All right, so this will be a good exit. Oof. Yeah, so that's a no. He turned down the offer. You turned down the. You don't want to do jumping jacks. Maybe in a little while.
I got the jumping jacks at school.
You do jumping jacks at school?
Yeah.
Really? How many can you do?
Just 10.
You can do 10? Oh, freak, do it right now.
I'm not gonna do it right now.
You're not gonna do it right now?
That was in the morning.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe later. Maybe when we get the camera, you can come in for the.
Oh, my tablet.
All right. Okay, he's better behaved than Perry. Yeah, Perry's been good to him. Perry's good to Teddy though. Perry's good to Teddy. Perry, remember Perry? Remember when Perry sent you the shop vac, the toy shop vac? Do you like the toy shop vac, the vacuum cleaner?
No, it's too loud.
No, not a no, I know real vacuums are too loud, but you like the toy one, right? The one that Perry sent, the one that Uncle Perry sent you. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You like that?
It's like so loud.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been times where Perry calls and like I have him in the car and he'll start screaming like, "This mother effer," rah, rah, you know. And I'm like, please, I got Teddy in the car. And he's like, "Oh, Teddy, I'm sorry. So you actually do a really good job of snapping Uncle Perry out of baby mode.
No, baby mode.
No baby mode. Can you say no baby mode?
No, baby mode.
No baby mode. Yeah, we don't like baby mode. Yeah, so you can come on. You can come on one of the streams one time, and see, it's family friendly. Family friendly stream.
Do you know any good jokes? Do you want to end with a joke?
No, drug scored.
No. Hey. Oh, tell everybody who's your best friend. Who's your best friend?
No.
Who's your best friend? Just tell her who's your best friend. It's a great answer. Who's your best friend?
Yeah.
Who's your best friend?
Grandpa.
No, that's your favorite person. Who's your best friend?
Grandpa.
Grandpa? Okay. I'll let him know you said that. Do the spaghetti joke, Teddy. Do you want to do the spaghetti joke?
Yeah.
Do the spaghetti joke.
No.
All right. I'm going to call it here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging in there. And we'll talk to you later. Bye. You say goodnight?
Night.